A change in the winds is upon us, guys. I can feel it. This right here is the turning point for the 2022 Disney Cars diecast mainline. Obviously, up until this point, it has been a tinge disappointing. We haven't gotten too many new cars. There's only been a handful of new Thailand variants. The expanded universe lines are kind of fizzling out. Of course, we haven't gotten anything new for NASCAR or Endurance in a while, so it might be, right to assume that at least one of them is dead, which is unfortunate because they always add a little bit of spice when the main line might have sulked for a bit. But anyways, Case H 2022 singles unboxing. I'm super excited. Of course, I got this from Get Me Collectibles. I'll leave his contact info in the description below. That includes his eBay store link and his email, which is what you would want if you want to buy one of these cases. On his store, he'll have like the items separately out of the case. He rarely lists actual full sealed cases on his eBay store, but it is possible. And so yeah, guys, inside this box, we have all sorts of new stuff to talk about. As you can see, as I'm hinting at on the sides here, for the past few cases, I've been lucky if I could find like 2 cars to tease the contents with to put here on the side. So I'm really happy. I have 5 out here, and we're not going to waste any more time. Case H, that is the digit you're looking for to indicate what's inside. Don't worry about the 95B. That's going to be on any singles case this year. Made in Thailand, duh. Contains 24 cars, blah, blah, blah. Don't care. Let's bust this guy open. This is the point where I usually ask you guys how you are, engage in some pleasantries. But you know what? We don't got time for that. I'm just going to bear claw this thing open. Grip it and rip it, as they say. Come on. Come on. Oh, almost there. There we go. All right, let's see what side we're going to start on. Oh, yeah, definitely starting on the top. Although there's good stuff like all throughout this case. I'm really impressed with it. I mean, the bar is very low. Like, I don't even know if it's a bar. Like, it might just be the ground at this point. But I am impressed with this case. All right, starting off very excitingly. I'm just kidding. Gotta get through the boring stuff. You guys know how I like to do it. Save the best for last. But anyways, here we have Rust-eze Cruz Ramirez. Not a terrible release. I don't see too many of her hanging around on the peg, so I'm not going to balk about this. Plus, she looks good on the Red Riders background there. And this one's on a good card. It's a win-win. Maybe even win-win-win. I would like if they changed like the card backs, like whoever's on the back here. But then like there would be a ton of packaging variants. And that would get annoying, I guess. Although, I don't know. It would probably drive like completists up a wall. I wouldn't really care. Like, I wouldn't try and get every packaging variant, like if they, change like who's on the back here. But I know there are people out there who would. Anyways, here we have Lightning McQueen with racing wheels. Of course, the World Grand Prix version. Probably the most released variant of McQueen over the last few years. Because he has been released in every mainline, whereas like the original Lightning McQueen hasn't been released in every one. This year, they haven't done Rust-eze or Fabulous McQueen. They also haven't done the Cars 3 McQueen as a single. Up next here, we have the iconic Piston Cup police car. Marlon clutches McKay, and he is super dusty, so we're going to clean him off there, help him out a bit. I don't know how these get so dusty, honestly, though. It kind of is mind-boggling to me. Not on such a great card, but that's okay. Don't see too many of him hanging around on the pegs either. But he has been released a lot over the last few years. Like starting in 2018, he has gotten a lot of attention. Or it might have been 2019, I think. Yeah, 2019, he was released in like that case with Steve Herschel. And ever since then, he has just been inundated. Sarge, ooh, on a crispy nice card. Oh, that excites me. But yeah, Sarge has been in a lot of cases lately as well. Starting with case D. I think he's been in almost every case since D, which is not ideal. Because I do see a lot of him around. Like, with those other ones, I was like, yeah, I don't see too many. And can't say that the same thing for Sargento here. But yeah, you guys have already seen, all the stuff here on the back. I don't really need to show that for these because, again, they aren't changing them. But yeah, we have everything released now on the back of all these, except for Tractor. We've yet to get Tractor. Or perhaps Tractor chomping tire in his mouth. We're going to jump down a row here just to, get through some of this more boring stuff. Now, Wasabi Mater isn't too bad. He was included in case F, and then I don't believe he was in G, so now he is back. But yeah, he looks good. One squabble, whatever. He does not have the 95 logo there on his art, but he does on the diecast, and the diecast is actually correct, which is rare. Typically, it's the other way around. Like, the art is correct and the diecast isn't, but in this situation, Pixar actually screwed the pooch. Mattel, you are off the hook. But yeah, this time, not a new Thailand variant. He was first released from Thailand in 2020 in the Funny Flashbacks line. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but they're basically doing series this year. And they've kind of done this all along. Whenever, like in 2021, when they stopped doing the series, they still technically were doing series. Like, a lot of these cars fit into very specific categories. And you'll see that here. We get Mel Dorado and Racé. They're from the exact same scene. You get like Mater with Balloon, Otis, Artist, Ramon. Those are all from like the same part of Cars 2. Anyways, here we have Sally. Nice Radiator Springs Townie. I love how she looks on this card art. Like, it looks great. Happy about that. And we've gotten everything there on the back. Some more cars. Radiator Springs Townies. Murray Clutchburn. I do not see many of him at all. I don't see any of the King, actually. I don't know. I do see some Fillmores. Sheriff, nah. Luigi and Guido. Oh, yeah, that's a rare one. For whatever reason, Luigi and Guido is kind of sneaky. Oh, let's get this one out of the way, because we certainly don't give a rat's behind about this one. Lightning McQueen, just your typical Cars 1 version. Yeah, he's been released a lot so far this year, which, at first I wasn't super upset about it because, he was not released as a single over the past 2 years, which is very odd. Like 2020, I don't think he was as a single from Cars 1. They did the silver version, and then 2021, still not as a single. He might have been in a 2-pack, but yeah, this is the first time he's been released as a single, in a couple years. And so I liked it at first, but now, they just released too many. But all right, this case isn't too bad. You just get one World Grand Prix McQueen and one of this one, and then we'll get a more exciting variant coming up here. Actually, there's 2 exciting variants of McQueen in this case, which I think might be a bit overkill, but we'll talk about that. All right, we're going to jump up to Racé now. Now, this one really actually bothers me, and many of you guys will know why this release is actually really bad for the Cars line, or at least the structure of it, the ideology behind it all. It's kind of like those unspoken rules. Well, not even unspoken, but basically, Racé was released one time and one time only in 2014 as a chase. A chase, all right? If you guys don't know what that is basically like a treasure hunt. It's one of the rarer cars that Mattel designates as such. They put a logo there that says chase, and they only release him one time. So that means technically they could never release a chase car again. And they've told us this. They said this. On the back of the card backs, like, it would just say chase pieces comprised for less than 1% of the assortments. So it didn't directly say it, but they were only supposed to be released once. And here we are with Racé back. And there were premonitions of this because there was one of like the coded names in the system, and it read as Beaker something, like Cars Beaker. And like, well, the only 2 cars that have beakers are Racé, and then there's Jessica Jam Patrol, who's the scientist Pity. And she's also getting released this year, which is fine. Like, she wasn't a chase or anything, but Lee was, and to reiterate, Mattel has finally broken the oath of the chase. Now, they kind of did this several years ago with Luigi and Guido with paint buckets and rollers, but that release of them was a like non-lenticular. It was like the fixed eyes, like regular eyes. And then when they released it as a chase, they were the lenticular moving eyes. And so it was technically different. And so I let that one slide. Like that's fine. You know, I'm not going to complain about that. But this one, I mean, it's a blatant disrespect for the, you know, structures they put of the line, like the rules that they set themselves for the line. It's as if Mattel were to re-release a treasure hunt like in the exact same color. Like Hot Wheels collectors would go absolutely bananas about that. They would lose their you know what. Fortunately for Mattel, the Disney Cars fandom, well, the community is a little tamer, I guess, and a little more innocent. You could definitely slip a lot more by them than the Hot Wheels guys. But anyways, putting that all aside, I know I ranted for like 2 minutes there, but it's important to discuss this because it is very historic. It's the first time they've ever done this. You know, they started releasing chases in 2008, never re-released, not one. All the way from 2008, they stopped doing chases several years ago. Not exactly. Yeah, they stopped doing chases in like 2014, 2015, somewhere around there. And out of the blue, Racé is back. So long time, 13 years basically, they kept their side of the bargain. Lee was a chase for 8 years before he got re-released. But he looks good, like the art looks nice. It's kind of interesting seeing him on the Red Riders packaging. Like it almost doesn't look right. But yeah, choking hazard because of the, I don't think this is technically called a beaker because of like the funnel and everything. Like every scientist or every scientific tool has like a very specific name. But yeah, this is his first time being released from Thailand, obviously, if that wasn't already clear. There are a few differences here, like his mask is now gray instead of silver. Kind of cheapens it a little bit, but his eye now, obviously, eyelid has the eyeliner. That looks pretty good. I like his rims a little bit better. I probably won't do a full-on review of this guy, though. He's not that different. Yeah, AB52TQP207. Pretty sure he's a Peugeot. Pretty sure that's how you pronounce that. The French brand. I think it's French. Could be wrong. So yeah, there's 2 of him in the case, though, so I guess that's good because he is going to be one of the more coveted releases. That being said, though, he was actually one of the easiest chases to obtain, like not in terms of finding one exactly, but like going back on eBay and getting one. Like he's one of the most inexpensive chases that ever existed. Like not even $10 worth it. So maybe that's why Mattel decided to re-release him. But I honestly don't think they put that much thought into it. Anyways, here we have the King. He's a welcome addition. I'm happy to see him back because like I said, the King does not sit on the pegs for long at all. This is a very, very popular car that Mattel does, and they know it. So they really should put some more of them. Like I still haven't even found the King and Mrs. the King 2-pack that they did, and that came out a few months ago. Now, granted, I also haven't seen the Patio and Taco 2-pack that was with them, but I don't know. I'm sure I was just late to some stores. Here we have Jambalaya Chimichanga. So again, she was first released this year in case E, and now she's back. I think she's been in F as well. So E, F, and now H. She's been released from Thailand a couple times. I think 2020 and 2021. Sorry guys, gotta crack the knuckles a little bit. I'm actually recording this after a almost 13-hour workday. So the grind continues. The grind never stops. But I was just feeling motivated. Like I was thinking all day, like, will I be able to record this video? Like, will I have the energy? Because I have to also work tomorrow. I have to be up at like 7. So anyways, here you have Spinout Lightning McQueen. I love the artwork as I always have. I mean, they've used the same artwork since 2009. But he has not been released very much at all. I think the only time he was released as a single was in 2009. I don't think he's been released as a single since. He was in one of the mystery Walmart boxes. Well, not really a mystery, but one of the McQueen boxes that they did at Walmart several years ago. So very nice to see him back. Obviously a new Thailand variant. But the main differences you'll notice with him are just like the clarity of the decals. So again, no need to really review him. Because all the like pieces, like the fencing, I mean, it looks pretty good. I wonder if it's raised off of the paint or if it's just decaled on, because I remember, I could see it's raised off. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You could actually feel like the barbed wire on his paint. And the tires look pretty good. It's hard to go wrong with 2 black circles. But yeah, really cool. One of the better releases for McQueen, without a doubt. Now on the back, we do have a little excitement. Marlon, disregard him, who cares? Now I've explained this a billion times, but if you missed it, Bruce Miller there, the car's 3 RPM racer, is actually incorrect. That should be Winford Bradford Rutherford, the car's 1 RPM racer, because they're not doing him this year. They did Winford. You have Artie, who is in F. Hydraulic Yellow Ramon has yet to be released this year, but he was released first in 2019. You have Brad Windmiller, who we'll see in a couple moments here. You have Damage the King, we'll see. And then Dexter Hoover there with checkered flag, you'll see in a couple more cases. Probably the next one, if it were to be my guess, if I was a betting man, which I'm not. Now, I'm grateful these last couple ones have been on really good card backs. But anyways, here we have Mel Dorado. One of my favorite characters from Cars 2, a very underrated forlorn character. And he's not been released too much at all. I think he was only released in like 2012 and 2014 or something. Yeah, I think it was whichever year they did the Mel Dorado Show series. And then I think he was released in either late 2011 or early 2012. But yeah, I mean, he's got a bunch of speaking lines, a pretty significant role in Cars 2. And so therefore, this is his first time being released from Thailand. And in my opinion, they really, really botched this release. I think it looks horrible. It's probably one of the worst Thailand releases ever. I mean, look at this. He's basically yellow. He should not be that color. Like maybe an in-between. Like this is the China version. And sure enough, he looks a little bit lighter in the movie, but not that light. I mean, it's so light, it's almost plastic. It's like a metallic yellow. Like, what were they thinking? He almost looks like a different car. Like, you could remove the glasses on him and play him off as a completely different character, I'd say. But honestly, yeah, it is basically metallic yellow, which is one way, I guess, you could make yourself sleep well at night. If you needed to get to gold, like, I don't know, your boss is like, you need to make this car gold. You can either like go like this is gold, a very sophisticated gold, or you could just metallicize yellow. And yeah, I guess you could sleep well at night. But anyways, yeah, the eyes are different as well. They're a little more spread apart and they're bigger, so he looks a little bit, I don't know, a little freakier, honestly. Rims look solid though. Still not a fan that he has the fishbowl license plate, because it just never made sense for him to have the fishbowl license plate, which is what like Acer has, because Acer is, you know, a pacer, and pacers were always referred to as fishbowls because they looked like fishbowls. Obviously, Mel Dorado is not even close to being a pacer, so it always annoyed me that he had that license plate. I could see that Thailand did not make any effort to change it. But yeah, that's Mel Dorado for you. On the back here, you can see Lee Racé, which that's kind of nice. Here was the back of Lee, by the way, in which you could see Mel Dorado. Now, believe it or not, that is actually the Wasabi Mater stock image. You could see that they just added the little green in his mouth, but they didn't change the expression at all for the stock image. So that's pretty cool. It's a little hidden Easter egg almost, because first glance, you don't think that's Wasabi Mater at all. But yeah, that's Mel. Oh my gosh, I had no idea Jay with headset was actually in this case again. That's awesome. Oh my god, I don't have to go out hunting for another one. That makes me feel really good. See, the surprises are what make this a very fun thing to do. I love unboxing these cases. But yeah, I was not expecting to get another Jay with VR headset, or as they mislabel him, Sadeep. But a lot of people have been finding him at Walmart and stuff lately, so I wasn't too concerned. He seems to be a pretty easy car to find, all things considered. Everything on this card back's been released a while ago, except Paul Conrev, who just came out in case G. But yeah, he's on a good card too. That's a win. Happy about that. Here we have Timothy Twostroke. He's been released since like case B or something. Maybe even A. Nah, I think it was B. So nothing too new here. Although he is I love this fan. Like I love the whole expression and everything. But sometimes when Mattel releases a card too much, you kind of lose your fondness for it. I try not to, but it's only human. Like it's only natural. When you just get bombarded with something over and over again, you just get tired of it. Here we go. Here's another new Thailand variant. Brad Windmiller. Like the artwork. Looks pretty solid on top of the red. Very nice contrast. So you can see he's got the eyeliner now. He's got a grayer front bumper there. So a few differences, but this one's going to be very similar to your Thailand release or your Chinese counterpart. Brad Windmiller was first released in 2016, and then he was re-released the very following year in 2017, right before the Cars 3 stuff came out. Now this shows some interesting stuff. I did not know that Transforming McQueen was coming out this year. Like I legit had no idea. Maybe I did, and I forgot, but I did not know that, so that's a surprise. Good to see him back. And then everyone else is out. You know, we already talked about all these guys, but McQueen with Sign was introduced in case G, who I unboxed last week. Not a new Thailand variant or anything, but a new to 2022 release. Here we have a mangled Fillmore. Ugh. Is it just me, or do the heavier cars get mangled more? Maybe it's because like if someone drops this, like there's more force coming down and so it crunches easier, but I don't know. I feel like Maters and Fillmores tend to get like this more than like Luigi and Guidos or like Matthew True Blue McCruz, who are much lighter. But yeah, I like Fillmore a lot. They have released him a fair amount lately though, so I'm getting a bit concerned, but when you get him, like I said, he is heavy, so you're getting, you know, your money's worth with Fillmore. Here we have Derek Williams on a very bent card back. Whoa, look at that. That's like it's a good like 20-degree angle right there. 20-degree bend. Now Derek was a new character, like a brand new release in 2021 toward the end of the year. And then they re-released him in case F. And now he's back in case H. I was a huge fan of this release. Like I was so glad that they did him last year. You guys know I love my original Cars 1 movie. You know, to see new characters still being released from that movie is amazing. And super grateful for that. You know, that's one thing that I'm happy with Mattel, you know. They're going back to the original movie, to the roots, and they are finding new characters to release. Now, maybe not as many as we'd hope, but they're still doing it. Now, everything from here on out is going to be pretty exciting, so buckle up. Here we have a new 2022 release, first time being in one of the cases. Cruz Ramirez as Francis Beltline, and it comes with one of these fire barrels. So, you know, these used to only come with those Demolition Derby racers with the rubber tires exclusive to Walmart. You know, they came with like a blue one, and then there was an orange one like this. I think there was a darker blue one. Some of them had like tire stacks or a sign. And so now you can get it in the main line. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad that they put an accessory in with Cruz. Like they totally couldn't have bypassed that. Like they didn't have to do that at all. They could have released Cruz like this and no one would have batted an eye. Like no one would have expected them to do that, because the last few times that Cruz has been released, and the first time being in 2018. In fact, she was in like the very first ever Thailand case they did in 2018. no barrel, no accessory. And then her first release in like 2017, no accessory. So happy to see that. But because she was released already from Thailand, it's nothing too exciting. She does have quite a bit of mud there on her though, so I swear the mud designs like are always different on these, because they did a super chase version of her as well, which is just dumb. They literally made like a Cruz Ramirez as Crazy 8 Francis Beltline as super chase. Like, I really wonder what they were thinking during that time, because it makes no sense. Also, it's interesting. She has like no mud on this picture, but lots of mud on the diecast. And then my final interesting note for you is another mistake on Mattel's part, but you can see here that they put the accent over the I in Ramirez there, because that's correct. You know, that is your Spanish grammar coming into play. But they did not put it with this one. It's just Cruz Ramirez. Ramirez. This is Ramirez. Meet Cruz Ramirez, and then meet Cruz Ramirez. Sometimes the accents don't really make a difference, but sometimes they do. That one, not such a big deal though. Here we have Line Lightning McQueen. This one will sell pretty well. This is one of the most coveted Lightning McQueen variants. They did him way back in a 3-pack with the King and Chick Hicks, obviously replicating the scene from the movie. And that became quite rare. There were a couple lenticular moving eye variants. And then several years ago, along with Spinout McQueen, he was in those McQueen boxes exclusive to Walmart. So you had another chance to get him. But this is the first time he's ever been released as a single. Now, Mattel kind of botched it because they put the artwork for Tongue McQueen on there. I can get how they, mix it up though, because, both of them have their tongues out. But of course, the tires are burnt back here. They're not there. Completely different scenes, albeit from the same race. I do understand like how they could mix this one up though. Additionally, official artwork for finished Line McQueen doesn't exist. Like, we've never seen official artwork for this version of McQueen because, we've never had to. He was never released in a 2-pack or anything of the sort. So yeah, New Thailand variant. I have like the Vietnam version over here, which came out in an 11-pack last year. So yeah, there are actually a ton of versions of him now. I think there's upwards of 6 or 7. I'm not even kidding. You have like your Chinese version. I think there's 2 or 3 lenticular moving eye variants. Then you have your Vietnam one, and now your Thailand one. Thailand looks way better because he's a unibody there. You can see there's no crack between the body and the mouth plate, which you can clear as day see on this Vietnam version, because this plastic piece is such a darker red than the main metal body, which is awful. I think that's Mattel failing miserably at their job, because it's very unpleasing to see the colors like that, so unmatched. Plus, like, these wheels are like perfectly clean, as if they never like scratched the pavement, because McQueen just floated along. And so really nice to see that the Thailand version has a little bit more wear and tear on it. Although the Chinese version has way more wear and tear, which is really nice. Chinese version's the best. Whoa, too far out. Also on kind of a bad card. All right, moving into the final 4 here. This one is probably going to be the most popular release of the case, probably the most popular release in the main line so far this year, probably going to be top 5 in terms of popularity all time this year. And that is Damaged the King. Now, to give the spiel on him real quick, he was only released as a single with regular eyes in 2009, and that single has become quite rare. It floats in like the $50 to $70 range. Not as rare as Damaged Mood Springs, released in 2010, but this one was still very, sought after. And then 2010, they did release him with moving lenticular eyes in a 3-pack with Lightning McQueen, and I think it might have been Dexter Hoover, replicating that scene in the movie from the Los Angeles International 500 race. So this is pretty significant in that they have re-released him. I think it's a bold move. I wasn't very confident that they were even doing these damaged type racers anymore, because of how, it's tough to see like your one of the main protagonists or a very awesome character all beat up like this. I feel like that's one of the main reasons they haven't released the damaged McQueen from Cars 3 yet. But Mattel kind of screwed that theory of mine with releasing this, and they of course did him as a mini racer as well. But this one's actually a variant, a very different one, obviously, you know, now being from Thailand. So I will review him, so I won't take too much time here, but he is smiling now, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, definitely keep your eyes out. I will be doing a video on him very soon. It's really nice that there's two in here though, so I can do that. On the back, nothing too new here. We've already talked about everything, but Kathy Copter now is confirmed to be returning for her second year in the row. Yay! Love random characters like that get released 2 years in a row. It really makes so much sense when there's so many other characters they could re-release. Or the other helicopters that appeared. But anyways, here you guys have it. This is the tip of the iceberg. This is Keith Kone, the first new character for the 2022 Disney Cars main line. I did already review him a few weeks ago, so definitely check out that in the description below. He's a great release. Another Cars 1 original movie fan, so super happy that Mattel finally did a new character this year, because we were starting to question if it was ever going to happen, especially after they canceled Dana Crankoff. But yeah, this is a typical SUV. Not going to say it's a beautiful car, but I am happy about it. And they don't paint her or his taillights, which is very strange to me. I think they definitely should have done that. But if you guys get one and you think it's an Air like I did, don't. All of them are like that. On the back, same exact stuff. Alright guys, that's pretty much all obviously for case H. Now this case has not hit any stores yet. Anywhere. That is correct. There have been 0 reports of people finding this case at any retail location in the entirety of Earth. Now hopefully that changes soon, but I just wanted to put that out there that it's only available through resellers on eBay right now. Alright guys, let me know in the comment section below which one out of this case is your favorite. We're going to have a pretty close battle, I'd say, between these two. But there are some other good items in here as well. You know, you have your McQueen variants. Maybe someone has a Brad Windmiller fetish. I don't know. Maybe someone even likes that nasty Mel Dorado. I don't even know how anyone could possibly think this is better than the Chinese version. Like, it's looks like a plastic car because of how bright it is. Alright guys, I know I talked a lot in this video. I just kept on dumping information, but there's so much to talk about. Like, there's so much history, you know, when it comes to Damaged King, you know, Finish Line McQueen. I love giving you all their previous releases because it sets the stage for their release now, and it either makes it a good release or it makes it a bad release, or, you know, it just puts it in the middle. You know, there's a lot of important stuff, and I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you soon for the review of Damage the King. I also will be reviewing that 2-pack of Chick Hicks and Bruiser Bukowski. Bye now.